Good morning everyone. So welcome to Academia channel. So today we'll continue our second part of the Russian Revolution. In this we are going to cover the revolution of February and October. Now why is the Russian Revolution so important? It's an important milestone in the contemporary history. It means the emergence of a new model of state based in socialism. It means the end of the liberal revolutions. Two different social systems emerged, socialism and capitalism. What are the causes of the revolution of 1917? Russia's participation in the First World War caused more discontent and protests because Russian soldiers did not have enough food or military equipment. When did the Russian Revolution begin? The Russian Revolution began on 23rd February with a demonstration in St. Petersburg, and the slogan was peace and bread, which you can see in this picture also. What happened next? On 25th February there was a general strike. On 26th February the Tsarist troops refused to shoot against the strikers. There were demonstrations before the palace of the Tsar. What was the result of these protests? The protests involving peasants, workers and soldiers forced Nicholas II to abdicate. What happened after the abdication of Nicholas II? At first, the Mensheviks formed a provisional government led by Kerensky. The provisional government, so they declared Russia a republic, made political parties legal, and its aim was to establish a liberal political system. But the provisional government did not take control over all the Russian territory because it was in favor of taking part in World War I. Which alternative government emerged in Russia? The Bolsheviks opposed the Mensheviks and established an alternative government based on the Soviets. The Soviets spread throughout Russia. Peasants, workers and soldiers, they formed Soviets. They had their own army, the Red Army. Now the key character whose ideology was followed was Lenin. Lenin was the leader of the Bolsheviks. He was the promoter of the Russian Revolution. He established a program to be followed in the revolution based on his famous April thesis. Now, what was this April thesis? These theses consisted on withdrawal of World War I, redistribution of land to all the peasants, control of the factories by the worker committees, autonomy for the different Russian nationalists, and delivery of power to the Soviets. Now what happened in October 1917? So one more revolution took place. There was another revolution. The Soviets, controlled by the Bolsheviks, took control over St. Petersburg and stormed the Winter Palace. As a result, the provisional government fell. What were the consequences of the fall of the provisional government? The Bolsheviks seized control of the government and Lenin became the new leader of Russia. What were the consequences of the fall of the provisional government? Russia signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with the German Empire in March 1918. This allowed Russia to withdraw from an unpopular war, but in return, the Bolshevik agreed to give large amount of land and resources to. What were the other consequences of the fall of the provisional government? Land was redistributed among the poorest peasants. Minor nationalities were recognized. In 1918, at the beginning of this, the revolution under Lenin had succeeded. What did the Bolsheviks do after taking power? In July 1918, they killed the Tsar Nicholas II and his family. What did the Bolsheviks do after this? The next point, they began persecuting their opponents, supporters of the Tsar, landowners, high-ranking military, Orthodox Church, supporters of the liberal political system. In response to these events, a civil war broke out between the two, the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks. Who won the war? The war was won by the Bolsheviks, thanks of the influence of Trotsky in the Red Army. Now, during this time, there is a change in economy, society, and politics. In 1921, a new economic policy was established to improve the production, the social conditions. One of the most important action was the state controlled transports, foreign trade, the banks, and great enterprises. In 1922, Lenin established the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. It was a federation of republics. It was a plurinational and multi-ethnic state. You can see the flag of the USSR. It has got the sickle and the hammer, which is a symbol represent the union of the workers. It was also used to represent the communism and its political parties. It is composed by a hammer overlapping a sickle. These tools are the symbol of the industrial, proletariat and the peasants respectively. The overlapping of both tools symbolizes the unity between all the workers. The red five-pointed star is one of the symbols of socialism and communism. It represents the five fingers of the worker's hand, the five continents. It is related to the internationalism of the Marxist slogan, proletarians of all countries unite. The five social groups who led the establishment of socialism, the youth, the militaries, the workers, the peasants, and the intellectuals. In 1923, a new constitution was established which was based on communist principles. In the USSR, Karl Marx's ideas of the dictatorship of the proletariat was put into practice through a system in which workers' interests were represented by one political party, that is the CPSU, Communist Party of the Soviet Union. The party controlled the Soviets. The Soviets directed all state institutions. Under the communist system, the state also controlled the means of production, such as factories and energy sources, as well as trade and finance. So, this way our chapter comes to an end. You can see here Stalin, the one who has started his collectivization program. Thank you, children.